Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into a fundamental health assumption. Um, the belief that amino acid AA supplements are inherently beneficial.
Right, and they often come with these uh, pretty fantastic claims attached.
Exactly. So our mission today, really drawing on critical research like Professor Lin's work, is to challenge that whole notion.
Yeah, to apply some critical thinking. We need to understand not just if these supplements work, but maybe more importantly.
Are they actually safe? Especially when people take them in excess.
Absolutely. And we really have to start with that initial promise, the one that often costs quite a bit.
You mean the complex peptide products, like bitter melon peptides or specific formulas?
Precisely those. The research is pretty clear. Your digestive tract takes one look at those complex structures,
And just breaks them down anyway.
breaks them right down into single individual amino acids instantly.
So you're paying a premium for a special peptide, but your body just sees, well, basic building blocks.
Exactly the same amino acids it would get from, say, chicken or beans. The advertised complexity, it's gone.
Wow. Okay, so that's a major debunk right there. But the story seems to get darker, doesn't it?
It does, because we shift from these supplements being maybe just ineffective or overpriced.
To actually being potentially harmful, actively harmful if you take too much.
That's the crucial point.
Mm-hmm.
Excess. When your amino acid intake goes beyond what your body needs for, building and repair,
What happens to the leftovers?
the body essentially treats that excess as waste. Your liver has to step up, work harder,
To do what exactly?
to break down the nitrogen part of the amino acid, converting it into urea,
Okay, urea, and then that goes.
to the kidneys, which
Yeah.
then have their own increased workload, needing to filter all that extra urea out of your blood.
So it's double burden. Liver and kidneys are working overtime.
Definitely. It's a real metabolic cost.
Right.
And research, even going back to 1978, showed this.
But the organs react.
Yeah, the whole system reacts. It actually speeds up the breakdown processes, especially in the liver, trying to cope with the overload.
Okay, that makes sense. But it's not just simple organ strain, is it? There's more going on.
Right. What's really fascinating, and maybe a bit concerning, is how this excess starts to affect things systemically.
How so?
This metabolic overload, this accumulation of excess AAs, it can actually shift the free amino acid levels in your brain.
In the brain, wow.
Yeah, signaling the nervous system. It could potentially influence everything from, say, your eating patterns to nutrient cravings.
Okay, so this accumulation, this imbalance, let's talk about the mechanism. You mentioned something called carrier competition.
Yes, and this is where that critical thinking is so important. Recent research, 2022, I believe, really highlighted this.
Carrier competition, explain that a bit.
Think of your cell membranes having specific transporters, like little gateways, for amino acids.
Okay, like channels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Often, several different amino acids have to share the same gateway. They compete for passage.
Ah, I see. Limited space.
Limited space is a good way to put it. So if you absolutely flood your system with huge amounts of one particular amino acid,
It basically elbows the others out of the way.
it hogs the carriers. And that means other essential amino acids, ones your body genuinely needs, might not get absorbed properly.
So wait, taking too much of one good thing could actually block the uptake of other good things.
Precisely. Both in your gut during initial absorption and potentially even across the blood-brain barrier. It's a delicate balance.
Which means you could be trying to fix one issue but inadvertently causing another.
That's the risk. And while high intake of most AAs can cause problems, some are definitely worse than others.
Which ones stand out?
Research back in 2004 identified methionine, cysteine, and histidine as being particularly toxic in excess.
The most dangerous trio. Okay. And what about long-term risks? Chronic diseases?
That's where it gets really concerning, especially with the sulfur amino acids, methionine and cysteine.
What's the link?
Excess intake is strongly associated with a significantly higher risk of type 2 diabetes and serious cardiovascular problems.
Like heart attack and stroke.
Yes. Heart attack, stroke, overall cardiovascular death risk. Studies show excess levels raise cholesterol, glucose, and insulin.
And methionine is singled out?
Methionine specifically is often highlighted as potentially the most dangerous AA to supplement excessively.
Wow. Okay. But it's not just the sulfur ones, right? I remember reading something about leucine, too.
Correct. That was more recent 2024 research. It found that very high dietary protein intake, over maybe 22% of your calories,
What does that do?
it can actually activate certain immune cells, macrophages, in a way that contributes to forming atherosclerotic plaques.
That's the hardening of the arteries.
Exactly. And within that high protein context, the amino acid leucine seemed to play a disproportionately large role in driving that specific harmful process.
So even leucine, which bodybuilders often supplement with, can be problematic in excess.
It reinforces the message. Isolating and over-consuming single amino acids, even ones we think of as good, carries real, measurable chronic risks.
Okay, so let's try to summarize this and maybe offer some reassurance. What's the takeaway?
The main takeaway is that, for most people, a balanced diet, providing the daily recommended amount of protein, is usually enough.
You get all the essential amino acids you need just from food.
Typically, yes. Unnecessary supplementation isn't just potentially useless, it can be genuinely detrimental.
Leading to things like what? Stomach issues, headaches.
Right. Those are common short-term effects: gastrointestinal discomfort, headaches. But as we've discussed, the long-term risks like stroke and heart disease are the bigger concern.
So knowledge is key here, understanding how this works.
Absolutely. Which leads to maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider.
Go on.
If we now understand this mechanism, this carrier competition, where taking too much of one good nutrient can actively block others, what fundamental assumptions do we need to question about supplement dosages in general? Not just amino acids, but maybe vitamins, minerals. How does this principle change how we should think about nutritional balance going forward?